Cleveland Moto, we brought you another bike. We got you another machine that you're going to be interested in. Why? Because it's a Ducati and everybody's interested in Ducatis. Ducatis are exciting bikes. We all like Ducatis. They're sexy. And that's what we usually say. You know why the guy riding the Ducati's always late to the ride meeting? Well, because he was having unusual sex. The whole world about having a Ducati is just, it's a sexy machine. It's a really, really cool bike. Now, the reason I like Ducatis for a long time now is that they're torquey. They're very, for a smaller motor, for something that doesn't have, 1500 cc's, Ducati motorcycles do push power like crazy. They do throw down a lot of torque. Now, this particular bike, this is a Scrambler. And it's fun when you start to talk to Ducati people about Scramblers, because then they're like, well, it's not really a Ducati because it's not made in Italy or whatever they call it. It's a Scrambler by Ducati, not a Ducati Scrambler. But just so you know, the same motor that we all love, that 805 or 803 cc L-twin motor, 2 valves, so it's easy to work on, it's easy to maintain. That's what's in here. It's the monster motor. It's the motor from the Supersport 800. It's all right here in a comfortable, upright riding position. So it's the Scrambler. And don't worry if you're not going to go off-road, because the previous owner of this bike had no intentions of going off-road either. In fact, he went the whole other direction with it. So remember that Ducati did a lot of different versions of Scramblers, and it can get really confusing. So the real little one is called the 62, and that's the little 400 cc. It's like half of this motor, and they're fun, but they're 40 some horsepower. So they're a cool little bike. And the 62s really didn't sell a ton here because it's still a Ducati price point, but it's a little 400 cc motor. Then there's the Icon, and the Icon is the base model Ducati Scrambler. That's going to be the one that people are going to start out with, and they're going to add stuff to it from there. And then there's also the Cafe Racer. So there's the Desert Sled, which is their high-end build-out, and the Cafe Racer are their high-end build-outs. Those are the ones that get all the fun parts added to it. This bike, the previous owner of this bike, had said, I want to have a Cafe Racer, but it wasn't available, and he wanted to do a lot of his own stuff. He didn't want to do the Cafe Racer the way that Ducati was selling you a Cafe Racer for, $11,000 and, $11,400, I think they were, about $11,395 for the Ducati Cafe Racer. What he did instead was he got an Icon, and then he changed the Icon to be the exact perfect bike that he wanted. And we do have this situation sometimes here at the shop where Renee, our shop manager, is sometimes fond of saying her mom used to say, I wouldn't be surprised if drugs weren't involved. And yeah, this is one of those deals where you're like, how could this guy get into this position? The bike is a 17. It's got no miles on it. This is 1,200 miles on this bike. And he took off the factory Icon gas tank because the Icon gas tank had an aluminum side panel on it. And he wanted the look of the gas tank on the 62, which I do agree. I think the gas tank on the 62 is far sexier than that of the Icon, and it doesn't have that kind of aluminum side panel in the side of the bike, suggesting it might be some sort of motocross bike, which it clearly isn't. So this is the 62 gas tank. And then he took the parts catalog and just apparently went insane, because everything from the clip-ons, the bar riser that he's got in here, this entire top triple assembly, this is all really high-end aftermarket stuff. The levers are the Ducati Scrambler fully adjustable levers. They fold up and out of the way in a collision. They're completely adjustable. The click fit levers, super cool. The seat's probably the best Ducati seat I have ever sat on. I've sat on a number of the Ducati Cafe Racers, the Scrambler Cafe Racer, which I hate the term. It's the Ducati Scrambler Cafe Racer. How the hell can it be all of those things? Well, the seat they put on that bike from the factory is really terrible. It slides you forward all the time. So your business is always crushing against the gas tank, even when you're not jamming hard on the brakes. That seat was one of my least favorite design seats ever, and it was a cheap seat. You could tell they were cutting costs in the seat department. This seat, on the other hand, 2 thumbs up to whoever built this seat, because this thing is fantastic. I like the diamond stitch pattern on top. It's really nice. It's really comfy. But more than that, I'm a 200-pound person, and this thing gives me a lot of support. It doesn't hurt my butt after any kind of riding. And it's not just pushing me up into the gas tank the whole time. I've got some room to move around, and it does have an actual pillion perch on the back, a back seat, which, by the way, the Cafe Racer doesn't have. So this, you can actually have your squeeze, your girlfriend, your boyfriend can be on the back of the bike with you, and that's nice. Now, anything on this bike that the previous owner could have changed, he changed. There's not, I mean, you can look through the parts book. There's nothing on this bike he left factory stock aside from like the frame. It's got the bar end turn signal lights. It's got the bar end mirror. It's got the fancy Works USA muffler, the exhaust system. It sounds really cool, by the way. And the pegs are aftermarket. It's got Rizomo everything. And Rizomo is another one of those Italian words. If you translate it, it just says money. And that's what this has all over it. There's no shortage of Italian chrome. And that's what we call carbon fiber. So it's here. Man, I wouldn't be surprised if drugs were involved. It's really strange. How could somebody lose so much money selling us a bike in a hurry? And it's one of those deals where I really was nervous, and I took the bike out and I drove it and I rode it around and I gave it a very thorough test ride before I agreed to buy the bike off the guy because he needed money in a hurry. And I don't know how much money this guy's got wrapped up into this bike. My guess is he's in the $13,500 to $14,000 price point. There's a bag on the side of this. You can't see it because you know the cool Scrambler thing, the Cafe Racer thing, is to only have one saddlebag, I guess. Well, because the muffler's over there on that side. On this side, there's a saddlebag. We'll put pictures of it in the video, but it's made by a company called Unique, and it's a cool canvas, like waxed cotton bag with good, nice leather trim, and it's got a quick disconnect mount on it, so you can slide it on and slide it off. We were shocked to find out that the bag, without the bracket, is 310 euros for just one bag. And with the bracket, I think with the bracket, it's like over 400 euros. So the money that's just dripping off of this bike is insane. But let's cut to the chase. We call these segments badass bikes on a budget. So this is gonna have to be kind of a budget. I mean, remember, this is ABS brakes. It's 75 horsepower. It's right around 50 foot-pounds of torque. It's crazy lightweight. You know, these bikes are about 375 pounds. So that's a really lightweight bike. 6-speed transmission, 3.5 gallon gas tank. There's a lot of fun here. They're Brembos. These are actual real Brembo brakes on this thing. No, I don't think we're gonna do $14,000. I don't think we're gonna do $12,000. I think we're gonna do this bike for $6,500. And at $6,500, for a 2017 with no miles, virtually no miles on it. I'm going to keep putting miles on it. You don't worry about that. I'm going to keep riding it. I enjoy this bike. It's a lot of fun. Even the gas tank is custom aftermarket, like a little fancy gas cap. It's not the OEM gas cap. It's some special Rizomo thing he spent too much money on. Everywhere on this bike is a custom piece. Pretty cool. If you like making a bike custom, you like making it special for you, this is a great way to get there. The riding position, it's not a true Cafe Racer. We're not putting you down into a true race bike position. Your elbows aren't going to be in the gas tank. These are still, even though they're flat bars, they're still a good bit above the triple here. So this is a really comfortable bike to ride. I'm in a semi-erect state anytime I'm riding it. So it's I'd say, comfortable, ride it all day, no problem. It's got just good stuff. The tires even, big, giant, meaty 180 back tire, 110/18 on the front. It's a real nice combination. You go out and ride these things, they're fun. They're just a fun motorcycle to honk around on. For 6,500 bones too, that buys you a whole lot of motorcycle when you're looking at this one. So if you guys want more information about this particular bike, you want to know more about it, you can get in touch with us at clevelandmoto.com. It'll be on our website, don't worry about that. You can call us here at the shop. The number's 216-795-5580. Remember, we do a podcast where you can take the strongly held opinions of this video and amplify it by the 6 or 7 people we have on our podcast. It's a lot of fun, and you can find that wherever you find your quality podcast just by typing in Cleveland Moto. With that, folks, remember to leave us a comment, ride fast, take chances. I got the whole 10 seconds to do whatever I want to do.